as you enter, there are three types of Hajj you need to know. The first is called Ifrad. Ifrad means you would just go into Saudi Arabia, into Mecca, in order to make the Hajj alone with no Umrah. Umrah is the minor pilgrimage and Hajj is the major pilgrimage. So if you're only making the major pilgrimage, it's quite simple. You go in, you do what is known as Tawaful Qudum, which is a tawaf, and you would actually go to Mina on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, to Arafah on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, to Muzdalifah the 9th of the night, and to Mina again the 10th, 11th and 12th. That's as simple as Hajj is. What we're going to do there, I will mention in a few moments. But if you want to do another type of Hajj, I want to go there, I want to make the minor pilgrimage and the major pilgrimage as well. I want to do Umrah and I want to do Hajj. In that case, there are two options you have. One is you can combine the two. It's known as Qiran, to join the two. What have I joined? The Umrah and then the Hajj. So I go in, I do my tawaf, I do my sa'i, etc. And then I continue on the day of Hajj, the 8th, I go to Mina and I continue further and complete, as I said earlier, the 9th is for Arafah and the 9th in the evening is for Muzdalifah, the 10th is for Mina again, and so on. What have I done? Two things. The Umrah and the Hajj together. And I can choose to do what majority of the scholars say is the best one. It is the Umrah, and then I come out of Ihram. I come out of the condition of sacredness where I'm not allowed to cut my hair. I cannot cover my head, for example, for the males. I cannot wear clothing beyond what I have, the two pieces of cloth. I cannot apply perfume and so on. I come out of that condition and I wait for the days of Hajj. So for example, the people from this part of the world who already went there now, there is still a while before Hajj. What will they do? They will do the minor pilgrimage now as soon as they arrive in in Mecca, and they will come out of Ihram and they will wait for the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. On the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, they will wear their Ihram from Mecca and they will now engage in the Hajj alone. So they did the Umrah, they came out of Ihram, and now they will do the Hajj in one journey. The fact that you've had the opportunity to do both in one journey, you owe Allah Almighty what is known as Hadi. You need to sacrifice an animal. Subhanallah. Allah gave you the chance to do two in one journey, and you came out of your Ihram. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. So these in a nutshell are the types of Hajj. Remember, there are three. You either do Hajj alone with no Umrah. You either do Hajj and Umrah in one journey together, known as Qiran. Or you either do Hajj and Umrah and come out of Ihram and then do the Hajj, which is known as Tamattu'. Tamattu' means you have enjoyed the time between the Umrah and the Hajj in your plain clothes without the condition of Ihram in Mecca. Then what would happen? You put on your Ihram in Mecca and you go to Mina. Why do I go to Mina? Well, Allah Almighty instructs you. That's the true answer. Allah has asked you to go there. He knows what He wants from you. You reflect over your life. You engage in the praise of Allah, you worship Allah, you do the remembrance of Allah in terms of tilawatul Quran, recitation of the Quran and the dhikr and so on. But more importantly, your condition. Think about who you are, what you've been doing all along. What is it that you want to change in your life? You're a Muslim, you're supposed to replug with Allah, reconnect with Allah. What is it that you have in mind in order to change your entire life? You spend that day and that night in Mina. Following morning, you end up going to Arafah, which is the most important day of Hajj. The Prophet ﷺ says, Al-Hajju Arafah. The Hajj itself is actually the Arafah. If you have not been to Arafah, there is no Hajj for you. No matter how ill or sick you are, you need to go to Arafah. If you haven't been there, no Hajj. Your Hajj is not done. So the following day, get up in the morning, fulfill your Salatul Fajr, and then you proceed to Arafah. When you get to Arafah, you spend the day again in the remembrance of Allah, in ibadah, crying to Allah, making your dua, your supplications, realizing how insignificant you are. Oh man, today on earth I can smell you that you're a rich man, because I can smell either the oud or one of the names, boss or whatever else it may be. I can smell it. I know, hey, this guy's got some money because I can smell the oud. I remember when I lived in Saudi Arabia some time back, the beggars used to follow certain people. You wonder why. But there was a cent. If this man can afford this cent, he must be having at least 1 riyal to give us. So when it comes to Hajj, notice you're not allowed to put perfume because it will distinguish you. You can't. Because if it were, people would have said, hey, smell this, I can stand ahead of you, you know. It can't be. You have to be the same. If you want to use an antiperspirant because you think your sweat might give off an odor, you may use something that is not scented, and it's healthy to do so. But when you get to Arafah, it gives you an opportunity to think how you are equal to everyone else, the same. You're going to be facing Allah. All these people are crying about their own needs. No matter who you are or where you're from or what your condition is, you have needs that only Allah will be able to fulfill. So Allah wants you to do that. And subhanallah, once the day of Arafah reaches the afternoon, it becomes the climax of the Hajj. Qiyam, wuquf. It's actually called wuquf bi Arafah. You are now crying to Allah. You are now really begging for forgiveness, asking Allah to change your life. And once the sun sets, before you read Maghrib and Isha, you leave Arafah all together in droves. And where do you go? To Muzdalifah. In Arafah, there are just a few tents, makeshift. In Muzdalifah, there is almost nothing. You're lucky if you have a small little place. Otherwise, you sleep, the canopy is the sky. You got to rest in Arafah, in Muzdalifah, you sleep in the evening, and you get up early, you collect some pebbles, you fulfill your Salat al-Subh, and you proceed to where? You proceed to Mina in order to pelt shaitan. What is the significance of this pelting? The significance is that at the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam, when Allah instructed him to do something which was to sacrifice his son, shaitan came to him on 3 occasions and he pelted shaitan. So Allah wants you to pelt, because when Allah instructs you in your life to do something, the same shaitan comes to you to tell you don't do it. So you need to pelt him in order to ensure that from within, I am fighting the devil. That's what it is. So more importantly than picking a big stone and a rock, which is actually wrong, you've got to pick a small pebble. It is what comes out from within you that is of importance. My jealousy, my hatred, my ill feeling, my laziness to adopt Salatul Fajr and whatever other instruction it may be, all of that comes out. First pebble, second pebble, third pebble, fourth pebble, 7 pebbles. And then you sacrifice an animal for the sake of Allah and shave your head. And what happens? You come out of the ihram. You go to Mecca, you do what is known as Tawaful Ziyarah, which is absolutely important for the Hajj. Like I said, if you ask me why, I have no answer. It's the instruction of Allah. You're a Muslim, submit to Allah. Allah told you to do it, do it. You will reap the wider benefits from it at some point, and inshallah almost immediately. Thereafter you go back to Mina for the next 2 nights and you pelt all 3 shayateen. You come back, you can do your Tawaful Wida and you're ready to go home. That is Hajj in a nutshell.